Hi Andreas, thank you for receiving us to Kenosis workshop here near Timișoara and showing us the beautiful tables that you are creating here using massive wood. So we'll start with the value proposition. So can you tell us something about your mission, the main reason that you exist as Kenosis?
Okay, good. The main reason is that society does not look like it was meant to look like right now. There is something very wrong with it in many aspects, and what we're doing is trying to make the world look a little bit more like it was meant to look like. And where we have really tried to focus our attention is that right now the Roma are marginalized, pushed aside, not invested in, and of course they find themselves in extreme poverty, both because of their wounds of being pushed aside from community, or from society. So really that our mission is to bridge that gap, to communicate both with the society and with the marginalized Roma. We're doing this through a workshop. So basically then what we're trying to bridge this gap and really find a way to invest deeper into these societies that are marginalized and pushed aside. And our hope is not that they just going to find a job and some money. Our hope is so much greater. It's really like the things that when we think about our lives, what we really value and treasure in our lives, which is community, how to forgive, vision, hope, but all these things that we just say like this is important to me, even God and just love and all this service, all those things that we really value, that treasures and hold to us. That's what we're trying to create, a model where we invest those riches. And of course, alongside that comes money riches too. That's our hope. But first of all, it's all those deeper things of community and forgiveness and hope and all those things.
Can you tell us something about your most important customers? You sell some products, we'll discuss about this, but can you tell us something about your most important customers? You told us about your mission, and you told us about these Roma people that are marginalized. But now we move to the customers.
Okay. I think it's like the middle class in Romania that's starting to want something a bit different, a bit custom made for something that's unique, something that holds life value in it, something organic. And also I think my customers usually are interested, or when they hear about it they are very happy to what the company stands for. But mainly it's like people who are moving into new houses or built a house or trying to renovate something like an apartment, and wants to find something that they can put their own touch onto.
Yeah, and when you talk about bridges between these Roma people that you serve and employ here, bridges between them and whom? Your customers or other groups of people?
So here I see it as a line of maybe there are the first bridge. I've talked about many different bridges because one of the thing is how is the top of the person in society connected with the poorest. Like there should always be a way for them to walk and meet one another. So that's why, for example, I'm happy that one of the most richest people in Timișoara have ordered our stuff or part of it, or like big restaurants fancy restaurants in Bucharest and stuff like that have our stuff and now in Timișoara everything, because it's a bridge for the Roma to be part of society. Then the second bridge that they experience, I think, is that we don't do this for the Roma, we do it with the Roma, which is a big difference. Either I do this for you or I do this with you. One is I give you this, one is let's do this together. Let's put ourselves hand by hand and sort this out. And then, so the bridge is between, so half my employees are almost like Romanians, half is Roma. But then also, of course, it's awesome that every day it comes customers to the workshop, and I give, like, one of my Roma guys sold a table today to a customer, you know, and she was like super happy and honored to work with this guy because he's very nice. So it's also that bridge, you know, and I think many times bridges for me is not about happy clappy friendships. It's about honor and respect and participating and somehow being connected to one another. And that is not necessarily just through hugging friendship. It's through that I honor you and you honor me, and we work somehow together in this society. So
nice. So there are other groups outside of Kenosis that you serve in the community, in the Roma community, or?
Yes, I think so, because basically I see Kenosis not as a job for the Roma. It's a job that creates a new society where the Roma and the Romanians, and like this French guy and me who's Swedish, finding a way to do life together. So I see myself serving the Romanian that works here, that maybe have a lot more money than another guy. He's the same interest for me as the guy who's poor in money, because we both need to move forward together. So I see it as this place is as much for them as for the Roma.
Yeah. Okay. So are other projects that you develop in the community, Roma community here nearby? Or
yes, because the company is owned by an association.
Okay.
And the association has a school, a homework school, with like 60 kids a week.
Oh.
And then we have also so we're trying to, in this organization together with the company, trying to touch people's lives in their school environment, because that's a big impact, in their home environment, like renovating their houses, creating possibilities for them to grow healthy together as a family. And then their nearby environment, like on the street, we're trying to like remodel the street and make it a comfortable area, because that really impacts you. And then of course at work, that's where we're trying to really meet the people, and that's where we have different jobs to do that.
Yeah. Where is this community?
It's a village like 2.5 kilometers from here, called Chernetiaz. Chernetiaz is just the next village here, and that's where the Roma lives. And they have a street there with like 250, 300 people.
Okay. So now we move to your customers that buy your product. And can you tell us about what kind of problem you solve for them? Do you understand my question?
Yeah. So I think either it is that they find furniture that they like, but they cannot get it, or it's too expensive. So then we can often like give them a variety, not from a high class brand that puts, so much more money. So like a piece that would cost 10,000 euros, we could put it made for 2,000 euros, because we imitate the bigger product or the style. And often also it is we meet them in like, okay, I would want that product, but it doesn't sell in the size that I need for my house. So could you make that product, but in this size? So then we become custom linked to that. And also like, designers, they find ways to design something and make something, but then how it's not just put in a way like, okay, buy that IKEA furniture, is like a concept of everything fitting together, and then of course we sort it out. I think we meet people, and this is where we try to, I believe that wood has power in it, and that having natural thing in this kind of concrete world, and also maybe for the Romanian, back in concrete from communist time and everything, we give them the organic, the real, the natural, the living, that reminds a person, I think, that life is more than your office and your computer and the screen. It's so much more and so much beauty around you, and it's something real and natural.
Can you describe some of your products that you create here? You show us beautiful tables and doors and But can you describe one or two?
Yeah. So basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to make like high-end furniture and accessories in a way that is sustainable in as much ways as possible, both towards society, both towards the person, and towards the material, and towards the customer. So we're trying to use always like really genuine materials, like wood, massive wood. We don't use so much kind of this kind of pal or like kind of fake materials or handmade materials. And then we're trying to make this high-end luxury furniture in a very organic and real way that speaks a lot. And then where that comes out to is that we do everything from accessories of cutting boards and everything that you can bring small pieces into your home, to like tables, furniture, doors, whole restaurants, bars, or like the bar in the restaurant and stuff like that. So we meet the client from the small to the big, really.
Okay, so mainly the main product is a table.
That's where I think, a beautiful handmade table and big table, because many workshops are starting to do stuff like we do or have been around, but rarely there are people who have so many people that we have. So when we make this 150 or 200 or 300 kilogram table, it's hard if you're not 10 guys in the shop, So that's also something that we specialize on, doing big furniture or big tables and stuff like that.
Okay. There are some other things that you are doing for your employees. They come here day by day to work, and you do some other stuff to help them to.
Of course, like what really that we
grow.
See, when we connect with them, we really, I think, invite them to a family. I think it is really a family. It's like, if you're in this, you're part of the family, and our interest for your personal life is almost as big as your working life. So if there is bad things happening, sickness, accidents, problems, we are very happy to get involved and stand with you in that, because we look at the person as a holistic thing, not just I want to get work out of you. No, we want to invest in you so that this community and society will continue to grow. And so everything that from like giving them loans to opportunities, to tools, to giving them like possibilities to like construct houses together. We really like walking together in some kind of like family like situation. So as I said, accidents that we really engage with you. And then, for example, if you can't read and write, when you come here, we try to stand with you in that. If you don't have a drive license, we try to stand with you in that. We really like look at you as a holistic person, and your kids. So many of the kids of the people that go to the homework club, of the people that work here.
Oh, nice. So how they learn this trade, how they learn to create these beautiful tables?
So basically, first of all, the Roma are good craftsmen. They like to do it, and really it's they from day one they start with doing a part of the table, sanding the table, and then slowly they go on to cutting, and then slowly they go on to they grow in different ways. And here many people are different talented, but one way of starting is doing a cutting board, and then they do a little bit of a bigger cutting board, and then I ask them to do a really big cutting board, and it's actually a table. It's like people have ways to enter into the workshop and learn the trade in many different ways. Now slowly I'm putting it together that there will be more like direct teaching, how it looks like, and courses and stuff like that. And also for me, a big thing in all this is like this. When somebody comes to me and says, hey, I want my son to come and work, then my answer to him is, I want to employ your son, but I can't because you are too messy. I need to put all my attention onto you. But if you learn the trade, and if you're good and interested, and you watch Instagram and Facebook and everything, and you really get into this, and I don't have to go and be angry at you every day for not doing what you should, and you do too many mistakes, then let's employ your son. And you know who's going to teach him? You are going to teach him. Because now I teach you, and you need to teach him. So it's very much what we're trying really to do is not the idea that I will teach 100 people. The idea is that it will be a movement where I teach you and you teach the next person. And you take that person under your wings.
Let's move to another chapter. Mm-hmm. How do you reach your customer?
Okay, I think on one way, right now we mainly through the spreading of words and through recommendations and through Instagram and Facebook. I think we were quite, in the beginning, 5 years ago, we were quite unique in what we did. Now today there are another 20 workshops like us, not maybe the same size, but doing the same kind of stuff. So I think now we need to become better at reaching our customers, and really reaching wider. We have never really paid for anything, any like ads or anything, but it will probably be in the future we will have to become better at selling. But right now through that, also it was this guy Adrian, who's a famous guy, a chef in Romania, that took us in, or really liked what we did and promoted us, and there was TV here and other stuff. So we have got some publicity through that too.
So how do you reach your employees? How they come to you, or you go to them to invite to work with you? So you told me that you have 20 now. 20 people that are here in your team. Yeah, nice. So how do you reach them? How do you find them?
So the beauty is that I never had to ask or to announce any, I never had to put out a work ad, I think maybe we did now for accountant, help for accounting, but the rest is always been people given to us, or people that have been interested in what we're doing and asked to come and work. And so it's one thing with the Romanians who come and want to be part of it. They hear about the vision, they get attached. It's people I know, people that, stayed and is really interested. The Roma comes usually because of I want to be part of this. Can I get the job? Can I try? They also come to us, but now, so far, I have never really needed to put any work out yet, which is, I think, good, because it's very different when you get through recommendations and the person, you somehow connected.
What kind of relation can you describe? A relation with one of your customers, or what kind of relation do you develop with them? You told us about these bridges that you want to build, and how do you develop the relationship with them, and how they are involved in your mission, or do they know about your mission or not?
So again, we're going through around 1,000 individual orders a year, but let's say 600 clients. We have an amazing guy, an Italian guy who we made a restaurant for, and he just become a friend and a promoter of what we do, and he organized dinners of all the kids. He has a fancy Italian restaurant in the center of the city, and then when he invites all the kids from the community where the dads have worked, and other kids too, to go in and eat in that restaurant, and he organized a gathering of funds, dinner there, and then one of our clients is the manager of Profi. He was becoming a friend, and we learning how to find projects together, or what that could look like. And so it's everything from just normal customers, wow, this is a nice table, thank you, to wow, we really love this, how can we help you? I can organize a dinner together, and at that dinner, for example, somebody gave us the money to buy container building for another classroom. So we have, there is some very beautiful relationships and some just normal relationships.
It's any way that you try to communicate the
that,
gospel, or
exactly, because I mean, for me, this is so on one way easy, because they ask me, what do you do? And what we do is the gospel, that I believe is the gospel, you know, like, so they say, what is kenosis? And I say, you know, I believe kenosis is one of the most beautiful words that I know. Okay. You know, when you find yourself in a privileged, high position, and you have the chance to take advantage of people and put people under you and, you know, basically bring it to you what they work as a company leader or whatever, then kenosis is exactly that word, is when you voluntarily and with joy renounce that place and you become their servants. And that's what we do here. You know, as higher you become, the more you just bend down and you serve the people beneath you. And of course, I say then, of course, that comes from the Bible, from Jesus, who did exactly that, who had the possibility to come down and become the emperor, but he came down to become the servant and he washed the feet. And that's something that I'm so catched up with. And I never met and had to excuse that, because I don't think that anybody is against Jesus and his way of serving. Like, I haven't met somebody who says, no, that's completely wrong. You know, somebody might say that's stupid, but beautiful. You know, I had, you know, Romania interview, you know, and he said, like, I love this is amazing, I really will go to the church that this would be preached, you know, but of course I can't live this. But for me, so presenting the gospel is almost like, that's the great challenge here too, that you're not allowed to say I love you, you're only allowed to love somebody, which is 100 times harder. You know, it's always easy to say, I love you, I can serve you, whatever, or I do, what can I do for you? You know, but actually, you know, when you day to day stand with somebody, that's the great challenge. And I was in an interview with Banca Transilvania, and I spoke just about this, you know, like, we are here to see people, to meet people, to lift people. And the interviewer, this guy, it's like you want to start a company church, or church for companies. And I said, like, it's like you want heaven. And I said to him, hey, what do you want? Do you want hell? Like, I want the most beautiful thing that can happen. And this is what I believe in, you know. So I think I have a very, even just describing what we do is preaching the gospel. And see people recognizing it and says, but why are you preaching it so much within the companies? And I say, hey, unless we do this, we will all destroy this world with money in our pockets.
Can you describe me how a day looks like here in Kenosis workshop? The most key activities, just most important, not all of them, but
let's take on such a difficult task that unless we love one another, serve one another, help one another, we will never manage to do it. So, like, either we stay angry and selfish and we will go bankrupt, or we learn to collaborate and lift this thing together, and we will actually end up with money in our pockets and with friendships and all these things. So of course, when I come in the morning, it's a lot of questions. What should we do this? How should we do this? We have a problem here. How should we sort this out? And I like trying to conduct this, you know, as a family, as a symphony, you know, of everybody learning to do this stuff. Somebody new needs to learn this because we don't have time to do this. Okay, you teach him to do that and you do this, and just trying to make this. Of course, there's conflict coming out. There is forgiveness that needs to be made. There is different opinion that needs to be solved. How do you sort out this crisis, this situation? This nobody wants to clean. Who should be the cleaner? So a lot of it is like moving forward, meeting clients, teaching people new things, sorting out arguments, meeting people in their lives, of them describing that my wife has cancer and I don't know how to do this, and I lost. They cut off my electricity now, and so it's a lot of like engagement in all those different levels. Key activities would be, I think, like in the core of it is being a role model, because behind everything is, it's called not Be Like Kenosis. It's called Seeds of Kenosis, and it holds the mystery in that there is no pressure really in growing a seed. It's just stewarding a seed. So it's basically, if you want to teach somebody, it's not the pressure to be hard on him. The pressure is that you need to be it first and give it on. So that would be like provide positive role models. I've written here, I've written invest time and effort into development of technical and social competence. We need to make this company profitable because we don't really have any sponsoring for it. So it's like a pressure every day to, at the end of the month, if we want money, we need to move this and make money. Yeah. Another thing that we do is we facilitate partnerships and connecting that enable individuals and organizations to engage with marginalized Roma. Like really what we're hoping for the bigger future is to be a kind of when you charge your phone, you take adapter, a transformer, and basically it speaks with 5 volts and 220 volts. Yeah, it's like those cannot connect directly. It needs to be something in between that translates the energy that's going on. And that's really what I'm hoping that we're going to be in the future, that we're really going to be able to speak to society, and we're really going to be able to speak to the poor. Because then society who wants to connect with the poor, maybe it's too far, they can go through us and say, hey, I wanted my company to be more connected with the poor. We are doing this. And then it's our way to translate that so that can meet those people. Okay, let's invent this tool, let's do this, let's move this product, let's take in this, so that those can connect with one another. Yeah. And those partnerships can grow.
What are the key resources that you are using to run this business?
Okay, we need a building, first of all. That's very important. This is a struggle. We are in quite a crappy building right now, and we struggle with winter. It's cold, and in the summer it's really hot, and it's humidity and everything. So like one key resource is, and that's what we're trying to do. We want to build a new factory. Then of course we have wood, which is one of our main resources, and often the access to more beautiful, more unique pieces of wood. And then we need also resources of metal structures for the legs, and then oils and other things to treat. And now you need a lot of tools, and you need good tools and big tools.
So moving forward, what are your key parts?
Associacja Seeds of Kenosis. The company is Seeds of Kenosis Design.
Okay.
So, and they are owned 100% by the organization. So then, like key partners, we have an organization in Sweden, Erikshjälpen. I'm sent out really as a missionary from the Swedish Alliance Mission, a group of churches in Sweden. So they changed. Before there was an older board, like older people on the board, and they didn't understand it. Then they changed it, and I always was supported by my church in what I did. So now, but then when they changed the central board for mission in our church denomination, they loved it, and the guy, he really loves it, and he's really excited about BAM and in Sweden and trying to push that forward. So he's like this is what he loves to do. Martin Ström, he's been in OM a lot, Operation Mission, and so it's been amazing actually to connect with him, and he's been a really support in everything.
Nice.
I mean, except from like Holver to buy wood, and other people like smaller local businesses making metal structures, and it's more that they love what we do, I think, and some of them really want to know more and really want to support, as even like customers and stuff like that. Some of them less. So yeah.
Okay. So one more question and we finish
Okay.
because the time is up.
Oh.
So, yeah. about the revenue stream and cost structure. How many years do you have when you started?
Okay, we're like 5-6 years old.
5-6 years. So did you? Is the business sustainable, or is something that is not sustainable in your business?
I think almost you can say, on one way, you can say that we almost gone plus minus zero from the start. Like, of course, I needed a capital to buy tools, but I still have those tools. You know, I needed a capital to buy wood, but I still have even more stock now than before. So I think we've gone, and I fought for that from the first day, like plus minus zero. Then we have some support, like one of our employees is employed by the association to invest in situations here. So that would be seen as a standing with the company to sort out like conflicts and everything, you know. So I have some of those things going on. Then structurally, how I done it to protect the settler, to protect the company, is that I employed some guys who isn't fully learned and can really support their own salary and what's going on. I employ them in the association. The association sends them out to work in the company. And the association then sends a bill to the company and says, hey, my guys worked for you, give me my money, like give some of the money, you know. But maybe even if it costed them 5,000 euros, you know, they only bill us 3,000 euros because they take the hit. And the idea is that we will not have to have that support all the time. And it will almost be like a step-in program now of you come, you go on to like a course of 3 to 6 months learning the trade. Then you go on to be employed by the organization with the support of like, hey, somebody else is paying 20-30% of your salary. Then if you can prove yourself good, you get employed by the company, because then I know that this guy is not going to bring the company down. So that is how we're trying to structure it. So let's say that in reality, I still think the company have asked from the organization for like 30,000 euros a year.
Yeah, okay.
So we're going minus on the organization, and the company is going a little bit with plus, but all that plus goes into like bigger stocks. Like 2 years ago, I bought metal structures for 1,000 euros. Yesterday I got the delivery for 7,000 euros, you know, because everything grows, it needs to become bigger. Stocks of wood and everything, yeah.
So what do you think that you need to make it fully sustainable, to be profitable? A business, to give you two options: to organize or reduce or manage better your cost structure, or to increase the revenue, to sell more, to
so part of it, we have so much to do. So part of it is like this: I've taken people that never held a piece of wood in their hand in the way that we do here, you know, and that takes years before you become good. And we haven't chosen easy trade, we've chosen hardwood. It's a lot of mistakes that's going on that cost us a lot of money. And then of course their lives is like, one day I find myself without half of my workers, because you know their lives are so filled with problems. And so part of it is just like, how do I bring this to a profitable community? It's going to have to take time before they grow into to do that. That's one of the sides. The second side is I am ultra much into custom orders, which you never really make money on, because it's always different. It's always like you have so much work behind it to get it to become and generate any money. So like I'm hoping that in the future I will get better deals, you know. So I'm trying to grow my people. I'm growing different sections. I have like a section that builds cabinets, a section that does the small product, and the section that does the tables, and then a section that does this kind of with laser, leather and metals and stuff like that laser print, like laser cutter.
Yeah.
So I'm trying now to like build every section to make money and every section to be more performance, to be better, and build a really wide group that knows very well. So if we are good, we make money, we go plus. But then so many things brings us down, and sickness and especially in the lives of the Roma, that makes us go many times lower on the money. But then to get some deals, like now we just sold this table for 4,000 euros. That's a good thing, like we make money on that. But then you have other orders that you either lose money on or like stuff like that. So I think we need to grow like a company. We just need to understand more. We can sell more. We are good. We have reputation. We have every reason to make money. Now, I've also chosen that a lot of the money that goes into the company now, I just make it go to the guys. Like a lot of the guys makes good money because they have messy lives and they need to sort that out, and build. They are so far behind in many ways that I make a lot of the money go back to them instead of stacking it somewhere. We just, for example, in a crisis where we don't have very much money, I allowed them to work and make like 20 tables on stock, because they needed money, not just because we needed. So I'm trying also to meet the people. So yeah, but there is like, if we just, and also I'm not the greatest. I'm not first of all a businessman. I'm first of all an entrepreneur that loves to work with people. And of course, I'm never going to guide this to make a lot of money. I'm always I need other people coming in behind me who can strategize and get the deals.
Andreas loves what you are doing.
Thank you.
We learn a lot and hope that other will benefit.
We are here to build this community together.
Yeah.
I would love to share some. Just imagine if we are the only planet with really life on, in the whole universe, and this with billions of planets. And imagine if God has created this earth, and maybe either through 13.4 billion years or whatever, 7,000 years, doesn't matter, and he put us as the crown of this thing, and he's slowly investing his heart. And if we catch it, this world will turn into this wonderful place. And if we miss it, it will all almost burn, And how now we're at this tipping point and this kind of question, are we going to step in and save this world? Or is it going to go down? And that when you think about it, and it always becomes even bigger if God created the world slowly through 13.4 billion years, and he's slowly investing his heart and his life into us and his spirit. And then the question is, are we going to pick this up? Are we going to move into this other way of thinking and save this unique presence of God upon this place in the universe, Or are we going to miss the chance and be egoistic and selfish and primitive and screw this world up? So like having people like you and us together communicating and moving into a place where maybe there is still a chance, for God to come and save this planet, to come and give a completely radical way of looking at it. I saw Harriet. Have you seen the movie Harriet? It's a woman that saved slaves, basically. Anyway, it's an awesome movie. Look at it. But this kind of film about slavery, and when we look at the film, we go, that's so stupid that they would accept slavery. Those people, how could they accept slavery? That's the most stupid. I would never have done that. But I bet you everything that I own then in 100 years from now, because this was like 100 years ago, 100 years from now, people will sit and say, they were so stupid. I can't believe that they were treating people for the gain of money to just ruin their hearts, that would ruin the soul of this earth, like people actually just taking advantage and saying like, I can't believe the stupid, they messed up generations and millions of years or hundreds of thousands or whatever you say years of this world, because of their egoistic lust for a good car or whatever, you know. It's like, so it is that kind of movement that God is asking us to step into and see the world different. And we will never save the world by just putting down the emission of carbon dioxide, you know. It's so much more needed to save this world, no? Like, it's not just, it needs to be a whole soul given back to this world. It needs to be hearts and love that needs to happen. And that's why I love this, what you guys are doing. I really think it's the peak of civilization, that like trying to go to another level, you know, and struggling in this area of finances and business and everything, but so important.
Yeah, I love the name Seeds of Kenosis. So we want to see these seeds in businesses in Romania and other countries. And, yeah. And
it's an honoring way of saying the seeds is never, you have to do this. It's just a gift. Look, this is a seed. Take care of it if you not. If you don't want it, it doesn't take anything to throw it away. But if you take care of it, it could become the greatest tree, you know, in your life that could even host birds and other families, and it could really be a benefit for the next generations.
Thank you for listening. If you love this episode, please enter on bamconnect.com